This conference will now be recorded.
So, Kushal, what are you working as?
I'm a business consultant, and I work in the service management domain. And
Okay, sure.
currently, I've gotten myself into asset management. I'm not using ServiceNow.
Sure. So, is it ITSM?
Yeah, ITSM, yes.
Okay.
There's one more tool. I'm basically work with IBM closely, so I use
Okay.
IBM more often.
Right. Okay, sure. So, a lot of organization they are into IBM over there in Dubai.
Yeah, most of them are like, see, IBM being a big firm and has a good name, so most of
Sure.
the firms they go with IBM.
Right. Is it because of the security, right? Or
See, IBM gives them a security is one aspect, reliability is the other, because they
okay.
know that IBM is going to provide them a good, reliable service, and they have a
Okay.
good, bigger team. So
Right. So, did the business hire you directly, or you placed by another company who is kind of works in line with IBM?
I
Right.
I am a permanent employee. I'm not a contractor.
Okay, so you're permanent employee for a business who uses IBM tool. Is that correct? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sure. Good. That's cool. And ServiceNow is getting better, like, quite trendy over there now. Like, that's why you wanted to learn.
No, it's just that I want to broaden uh, my skill set.
Okay. Right. So you don't
ServiceNow is
program
like
at the
one of
moment.
ServiceNow is like one of the ITSM tool. I've been
Yes.
using an IBM ITSM tool for around 7-8 years now. IBM.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
mean,
Sure.
most of the ITSM tools are on the same
Yeah.
ITIL
Yeah.
framework.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Okay.
I'm
Sure.
able to
That's good.
correlate.
That's good. That's pretty good. Like over there.
How about the market in Australia? How is it like?
So market in Australia for ServiceNow is crazy. You won't believe on my LinkedIn, like every time, every week, like at least 5 agents are approaching me. All I did is just I wrote I'm ServiceNow admin, which I'm not, but I just updated, just out of curiosity. Hey, I'm this, which I'm doing at the moment. But it's crazy here. I don't know why. So much skill shortage here,
Oh,
especially
really?
for service. Yep. Yep, you can see yourself. Like, I can send you this site. You can look for how many opportunities, and they're paying big bucks as well for that. But problem, what I'm finding here in Australia is that, let's say I'm coming from technical and infrastructure and support background. I love ServiceNow, but when I want to move in that industry, there isn't any junior position coming up. All I can say is that it all starts from senior consultant, senior architect, senior developer, senior, and I think the reason why they're adding the seniority because of the paid racket.
See, the thing is, being an ITSM consultant or an architect or an analyst, see, you are expected a few things. Okay, knowing the tool becomes a prereq.
Yeah.
Okay, see what you're doing right now in the session or in the training is just knowing the tool. That is one aspect. Okay,
Correct.
you ought to know the other things that the business demands from you is you being well versed with the ITIL framework.
Yeah, so that's why one of my auntie
Okay.
also said, auntie said, if you don't know much about business processes, doesn't matter
Yeah,
whichever tool you know, you can't implement that in the tool.
you will not be able to. Seriously,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true.
Hmm.
See, because if you know how ITIL works, how a service strategy, a service operation, a service transition
Yeah.
works, you will not be able to understand the fundamentals of what any ITSM tool does.
Correct.
And
Right.
trust me, I mean, all the ITSM tools works the same way.
Mm,
I mean,
mm, mm.
I keep on asking Amol about stuff uh, because I have done all those stuff in my tool, in the IBM tool, IBM ITSM tool, okay, which I previously implemented and currently also I'm implementing it. So this works same in ServiceNow. This works same in BMC Remedy. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
I mean,
correct. So
my
the
advice
fun
would be,
story with, yeah, you go. Yep.
yes, my advice would be to not stick onto a tool. Make your profile product independent. Okay.
So problem Kushak becomes is that when you want to do a transitions as well, and then you want to know multiple platforms, then it's a very challenging and time consuming thing. So, and plus the demand as well, like, what is the demand in the market as well. So my idea here was I do understand ITSM. I worked in technology. I know, but I have never dealt in ITSM teams. Like, I didn't do the change. I didn't do the root cause analysis or anything like that. But these terms, I understand how it gets shifted from team to team. But now I do think you're right in the sense if I do have ITIL V4 or something with my, credentials in my CV, plus the training which I'm getting from ServiceNow. But every time I go back to the basics, that this can be implemented in Jira or any other tool, like whichever, as you said. So yeah, the hardest part is to get first, breakthrough in the industry when you're shifting from one side to another side. I mean, I can talk about so much about technical and servers and all that, but that's not required in another job. Like,
True.
um, it's a entirely different set of skills, and those people cannot do my job, what I know. But how I can relate both, because that's where I think the CMDB and where it started getting too much technical. That's where you need to have experience to understand that, and that's what I do have. So that's why I thought that ultimate goal for me is doing either the service mapping, or it's called ITOM, which is operational management side.
Operation
So that's
management.
what, yeah, I'm targeting eventually to get there, but there's no way you can jump straight from there. Like, you have to go through this route, like, by fundamental, by getting any job, by as a junior developer, then you can get there. Like,
Yeah. So basically, if your aim is to get into the operations, then I guess you should strengthen your fundamentals, ITIL fundamentals, basically,
yes,
rather than
yes,
getting into
yes.
the tool, because any company will have any XYZ tool, but
Mm.
the way those XYZ tool work, ITSM tool works, depend upon your fundamentals. That is nothing but your ITIL.
Correct. You're right. You're right. I mean, in reality, in practical life, yes, it's a framework, but it's all up to the company and the managers what they want to implement to sustain the business. And sometimes it just comes down to the cost. Like, to implement everything as it is, how it's recommended, it might not be possible. So it started changing they tailor it accordingly. Like,
No, that's
to
what
the,
the ITIL is not hardcore rules that yes, every company needs to follow that. It's just a
yes,
framework of best practices, what the
correct.
companies have done. So if a
Mm,
company is a small size or a medium sized company which can't
mm,
afford so many people in their operations, what they can do
yeah,
is they tailor it as per their need. So
yeah.
you may see in a change. So if you talk about change management, you would have one CAP team, or a CAP team managing,
Mm,
addressing the board,
mm.
managing the changes, as well as doing the approvals as well. So that
Yes.
tailoring will be done. You
So
just need
Kushal,
to understand.
you always started from ITSM, or you were working some like in other field and then you shifted to ITSM?
No. I started off with ITS myself. So
And
I mean,
what did you do? Which degree did you do, or what education?
see, I'm an engineer. I'm a computer engineer.
Computer.
Um,
Okay, right.
yeah, I'm a computer engineer, and then I started off my career in India for
Okay,
3 years.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
had multiple projects, implementation projects, and then I moved over to Dubai.
Okay. Right. 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 And how do you find the market in Dubai? You there, Kushik?
Sorry. The market these days is more or less saturated now. I mean, what I see, I don't
Okay.
see. See, even it totally depends on the economy of the country as well. I
Sure.
doubt with the real estate and everything going down here in the UAE, so it becomes quite tough.
Why the real estate is going down?
Yeah.
Why is that over there?
It's actually everywhere, right? It was
I
there.
mean, I
I
mean in
felt
Australia.
I felt it in India as well. I traveled to India some days back, and I
No,
felt
in
the same.
India, Kushak, in India, I understand Modi and this and GST, like in overseas, like we haven't changed anything as such. Government has been the same, interest rates have been same. I mean, in Australia as well, it went sort of saturated, but it never went down. But when you started talking about it went down, that's a big disaster for any country. Like,
Yeah, that's true. See, and with the neighboring things coming up, right? There are a lot of you may be hearing the news about Iraq and all the other Gulf. So
yeah.
it's more or less right now the situation is pretty tight here.
And whereabouts in Dubai you are? Which city?
I'm in Dubai itself.
Dubai.
Dubai is one of the Emirates in the UAE, part of the UAE.
Okay, right.
I'm in Dubai. There's Abu Dhabi. It's
Yeah,
Qatar.
because I've got very close friend here. He's a doctor, and his parents have been living there from 22 years in Abu Dhabi. Abu
Oh,
Dhabi. Yeah, and the funny thing is that they are not permanent resident there, but they just feel like it's their home. They come to Australia and they just go back again and again, again and again. His father is a general manager of a big company over there, and he earns quite a lot. So he's, I think, 75. He's working because he loves the company is not letting him go. So
no, that's true. I mean, once you start living here and get used to the living in Dubai, it'll be hard for you to get
correct,
any.
correct,
I mean, they
correct.
pamper you a lot.
I mean, Australia is a very laid back man. He is too relaxed, everything.
Uh,
Yeah. So, nice to know that what's happening around the world.
yeah.
But India is also going crazy in terms of jobs and what people can do over there
India's
and
been
work.
always aggressive. I mean, Indian market and Indian working has been very aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 years, I would say the 3 years that I've worked in India,
Hmm.
they were the craziest 3 years. I mean, the job market is so demanding. I mean, the market is so demanding. Uh, I was working with an ISP named Bharti, Airtel Bharti. You must be aware of it,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Right?
But Kaushik, do you get rewarded the same like in India in terms of money?
No, in terms of money, no, but in terms of learning, I mean, there is a pool
Okay.
of learning. I mean,
Hmm.
you can grow your skill set in no years. So a person who's working 3 years in India may be equivalent to around 6 years or 8 years anywhere in the world. That can I say.
Because in overseas, it's a very slow thing. Business don't adapt things very quickly or rapidly. There's a lot of bloody planning goes, and then finally budgets, and I don't know. By the time the new senior management came, they end up changing the whole strategy what were planned before. So it's like bad. It takes too much time here. Hmm.
You've been for how long you've been in Australia?
I've been here almost close to 20 years now.
20.
2000, yeah, or maybe actually not 20, but 19 around that. Around 2000 I came. I came here for as a student because my maternal uncle, like Mamaji, was here. And then after that, my Mosi Ji and like whole other family, my sister, everyone, my in-laws are from here too. So yeah, it's a big family as well.
So where about in Australia do you reside?
Sydney.
Oh, Sydney. Great.
So it's a big city, 5.5 million people here. So that's why it's like the way how I see, if you have a skill here, it won't go waste. Somewhere you can use it. And eventually I think, yes, I will work for these companies, but then I can set up on my consultancy business for ServiceNow, whichever, and just work for myself. Like when you have 10, 15 years of experience.
No, that's a good question. In fact,
Yeah.
I mean, your business becomes your business. It's no way compared to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see the new Amazon like infrastructure or what Amazon built it in Hyderabad? Like,
No,
oh, they went crazy. If you will see their building and what they're doing over there, they set for at least 100 years. Hyderabad, they did so massive things. They built it. How much investment they're doing? Oh my God, over there.
No, I'm from Delhi, so I just.
Oh, I went to DPS, to be honest, for Hyderabad.
Oh,
yeah. Sometimes I do miss Delhi. But again, good comes with bad. You can't have the best of everything in the life. So.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, we can't hear. Who's talking? Batch, are you guys still able to hear? Amol, you trying to talk? We can't hear you.
Okay, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Don't know what happened. Okay, let me do this. I was keep talking and talking. Okay. Anyway, let's get started. Are you able to hear me right now? Hello, guys.
Yes,
Yes,
Amol.
Okay. I just consolidated all the agenda for the day. Okay, and we will discuss on this, right? Few questions that need to be answered. Okay, it is fine, everybody. I don't know what is it.
Sure.
Hello. Yeah. So these are the few questions that need to be answered, right? And we will also touch. We are going to align ourselves with the ITIL when we are going to understand CMDB. Okay, so the reason is also why do we need to maintain, there is also one question, why do we need to have CMDB? What is the need of this? Okay, and what is this CMDB is all about? Okay, before understand CMDB, first understand this in the basic concept, right? We'll start with this one. So CMDB, the meaning of CMDB is all about configuration management database. Okay, configuration management database, right? Name suggests that it's all about the configuration, right? You need to configuration, you have to manage the configuration details, right? You have a laptop, you have a configuration details. You are Raj Saxena, you are a person, even you have a configuration details. And mobile is also having a configuration details. When I'm talking about configuration details, let's talk about a computer. What are the important details that you track for a computer? What is the operating system for this computer? What is the size? What is the hard disk size? Where this computer is located? Okay, what is the purpose of this computer? Whether this is a server or a desktop? Okay, so when I am talking about configurations, so it's talk about the configuration details. If I'm talking about a computer, right, one of them example, serial number, uh, if it has an IP address, what is the host name used by, location, okay. So these are RAM, okay, memory size and all. So these are your configuration details and you need to track it, and how this computer is related to each other. Is there any relationship? What are the software installed on this computer, okay, how this computer is related to other computer, okay. Okay, so these are called your configuration details. Understood this? Configuration details. So understand this, okay. I started with this, and then we will discuss about why do you need this configuration management database, right? Okay, so means for which items you need to track the configuration details, right? We will understand this, okay. Take top to down approach, okay, in understanding this, right?
Sorry, Amol, can you
You
move your microphone a little bit at the distance? It's just getting the muffling sound too much. So maybe it's
okay,
too close.
okay, got it. Oh, 1 minute. Okay. Hmm. So you have a business, right? If I'm talking about some of the business, they are the telecom business, they are banking business, you have educational business, educational services, right? You have travel business, right? These are some example of the businesses that you have, right? You have a different organization, different companies for this market. If you're talking about telecom, you have a Airtel, you have Vodafone, okay, you have a BSNL. If you're talking about the banking, there are a lot of competitors in the market for the banking, like ICICI Bank, okay, SBI Bank. For education also, you have a lot of educational institutes and all, right? And you have a travel and all, right? So these business provide some services, some kind of a services. You have a telecom services, banking services, educational services, and travel services, and you have a consumer here, right? But these business services, okay, these business services are heavily dependent on, right, IT services, because these are your business. To run this business, there will be a different processes, right? If we are talking about business processes, let's talk about a business processes, right? To support this business, you need a lot of process. Can you give some of the example of the process, right? Every business has some common process, like HR process. Hmm? You have a finance process, you have a sales process, you have a ERP process, okay. What are the other processes? You have a time sheet process, hmm? Time sheet management processes. You have a payroll process, okay. So these are the processes that you have, and these processes supports these businesses, okay. To support these processes, okay, to support these processes, you need a IT services. Got it? different kind of IT services that you need to support these processes. Can you give me some example? Because there will be the employee who will be working for this HR department. There will be some of the employee that will be working for the finance department. There will be the people who will be working for the sales department, and all the employee will go through that timesheet management process. All the employee will actually has to be supported with the payroll processes, right? So there are different kind of the processes, okay, and these processes can be supported by different kind of IT services, right? So this, we are talking about IT services, right? Can you give me some example of the IT services which is going to support these processes? Hmm? Give me some
So
examples.
Office 365 or
Hmm.
not the product, email exchange applications.
Okay, application services, application support services. Okay, application support services that you need, like email support, or you can say the application, because some HR case application you can create. You can create ERP application, okay, or you can create uh, timesheet application, right? So this will come as application support services. Means it will talk about, when you are talking about these application support services, it will talk about, you can also say the email services. You can say this as a email services or HR services or ERP services. You can say, right? You're providing this to support these business processes, right? So someone has to create application. You have also the help desk process, right? So you have to create these applications, right? Create the application, maintain the application, manage the application, right? Backup the application, secure the application, right? Update the application, right? So these are the activities, these are the support activities which will be the part of the application support services, right? Okay, there are the another kind of the services, like if you're providing the application support services, these applications will depend upon the different kind of a server, right? Different kind of a server, right? So application is built with the help of servers. Are you getting my point here? So when the, if you are talking about one example like the timesheet application, so there will be some Java based application. So there will be your DB server, there will be your web server, there will be your application server, there will be your file server, right? So these servers will support these applications, right? So these server support has to be there, server supports, right? When I say server supports, means there will be Windows support, Windows server support, right? We say also Wintel team, Windows services, or Windows support, Wintel, or you can say Unix server support. Okay, you will have, right, this kind of you must be, if you're working in the ITSM, if you are working in incident management application, if some issue happens, the issue is reported as an incident and this incident is assigned to someone, right? So incident, you could definitely have seen something like Wintel support team, okay, or Unix team, Unix support team. So these are some of the IT services that you have, application services and the server support, server team, right? Okay, so let's talk about the another kind of services, like the all the employees. Okay, so for example, in a telecom industry, right, whether they are the part of the HR department or whether they are the part of the finance department, they all will have their desktop or laptop, hmm? Right? So they will use desktop and the laptop, and they can do their work. They can send email, right, using laptop. They can do some reporting using laptop, right? So the desktop and the laptop, all of them have, right? So someone has to support, right? If some issue happened with the desktop or even the printer, right, or even the printer, right, if printer is not working, so someone has to work on that, right? So there could be another kind of services where we can say that is desktop services, desktop support services, right? Okay, so desktop support services could be provided to the employees of this organization if something will not, if something is not working, if the desktop is very slow, or if the desktop has to be upgraded, if the memory size has to be changed, or if the desktop has been crashed, right? So there will be some person who will be, there will be some team which will be working on that particular issues and all. So we have seen the desktop support services, right? Another is your uh, Windows services, right? Windows support services. What happened? Oh my God. Windows support services that you have seen already. Okay.
Mhm.
And there will be suppose connectivity, right? Uh, Connectivity between the desktops, one desktop to another desktop, or from the desktop to the printer, or the desktop connectivity to the internet or the intranet, right? So that's where you will have the network support. Hmm? Suppose, for example, you have your desktop and you will try to log into an application which is in the intranet and that is not working, right? So that is not accessible, or internet is not accessible, or the intranet is not accessible, right? Or LAN cable is not working. So you need to connect with the network team. So network support services. Hmm? And you will also have backup, backup support, so that you should not lose the data. So in a timely manner, the backup will be uh, a backup will be created. Okay, on a timely manner, backup will be taken, right? You will have a storage server, storage services, storage support services. So these are different kind of a services that we are talking about, right? So these are your IT services. We have given you some example of IT services. Okay. Okay, so to provide these IT services, right, without, you need to build your infrastructure, or you will have already infrastructure with you, right? IT infrastructure, I am talking about IT infrastructure. Without having this IT infrastructure, you will not will be able to provide these IT services. That's what actually we are talking about, the IT assets. You need IT assets. Hmm? If you're talking about the desktop, or if you're talking about the printer, or if you're talking about the servers, if you're talking about your software, okay, if you're talking about the LAN, if you're talking about a mouse, if you're talking about router, if you're talking about the hubs, if you're talking about the switches, breezes, these all are your IT assets, right? So you will have your data center, or if you will have some premises. So this is your enterprise network, right? Okay, so this will be your enterprise network. Some of the IT assets will be available where these IT assets will be there in the your customer premises, means company premises, right? Hmm? Customer company company premises, and some of the IT assets will be at the service provider premises, or even the customer's own data center. Hmm? Okay, so Are you getting my point? So there could be some of the assets like the desktop, laptops, mobile. Those could be the part of the IT assets, right? Which will be running these processes, right? So the same desktop, laptop, this is, you can also say this is your business assets, right? So business assets. So those business assets, some of the business assets will be your IT assets, okay? Some of the business assets. And some of the IT assets will help you to configure your application to support your network, to support your backup services, and to support storage services, right? So there will be a lot of components there, like the server, DB server, file server, web server, right? Suppose, for example, if you are creating a Java based timesheet application, right? So for this, you are creating a application, and this application is going to support this timesheet process. And you are creating the timesheet application using a Java platform. Okay. So to do that, you need to have one web server. Okay. You need to have your web server. Okay. You need to have application server. Application server, you will need to have a DB server. Okay. You need to have application server. You need to have a DB server. You need to have a web server. So there means there will be number of web server, there will be number of application servers, right? There will be number of the DB servers and all, and these will support your timesheet application, right? So if I'm talking about, these are the three servers which will build your timesheet application, it means that these are your configuration items. So I'm talking about three configuration items, right? So these will be your servers. These servers will have serial number. These servers will have serial number. These servers will have IP address. This server will have memory. This server will have the application installed on them, right? So these are your configuration items, right? So these IT assets are also called as the configuration items, right? So configuration items is what? So configuration item, the definitions of a configuration item is the IT component which play a significant role in the delivery of IT services. Raj, are you there?
Yes, Amol.
So understand this. So configuration item is nothing but the IT components which will play a significant role in the delivery of the IT services. And we have discussed about the IT services here. So here, this is your IT services. Let's use the another color. These are your IT services, and these IT services, I have already listed out the different kind of IT services here. Got it? And to
Yep.
deliver these kind of IT services, you need IT components, right? If you are creating an application, you need servers. If you are providing the desktop supports, you should have a desktop. You should have a laptop. Used by whom? Used by your business users. These will be your users, right? Customer users. Okay. So those desktop can be also considered qualify as your configuration items. Okay. So we have to be very much careful with what qualify as a configuration item. We should not store everything. We should not make the CMDB bulky. So only those configuration item which we need to track. Only those configuration item which is playing a significant role in the delivery of the IT services, those are your configuration items. And all configuration items here is your IT assets. Okay, got it? So right now, the solution for this is the CMDB in the ServiceNow. Maybe in our next session, I'm going to discuss about the detail in what is the table structure of this storing the configuration items and all. So are you able to understand that what is your configuration item? Did you understand?
Yes, Amol, completely. And
Yes. If you have a 10 desktops, those 10 records has to be there in the ServiceNow. If you have a 5 servers, those 5 servers record has to be there in the ServiceNow. Okay, in where? In the CMDB. So what is CMDB? CMDB is nothing but the table, right? So you have in ServiceNow, you have seen the incident table. What do you do with the incident table? You record incident, right? You have seen the marketing event table. What did you do there? You are storing the record of the event. What is CMDB? So CMDB is nothing but the CMDB is the set of the tables. It's a set of the tables. There could be a different kind of a tables. Table to store computer, table to store servers, table to store table to store routers, table to store people. People are also like a configuration item because the people also deliver services, right? If one people is absent, it's going to, it's going to impact, right? So people are also considered as the configuration. Applications are also considered as the configuration item. So there are different tables there: computer table, servers table, people table, means person table. You have use application tables, right? So these are the number of the tables that you have in the ServiceNow CMDB, and how the data structures looks like in the CMDB we are going to do in the next session.
Amol, one question here. How is configuration item different from an asset?
See, the asset basically whenever you have the financial aspect, right? That's where that will be qualified as a IT assets, right? So all configuration items are IT assets, but all IT assets may not be the configuration item, right? Suppose for example, a mouse you have, right? So mouse can be considered as an IT asset, right? It do not need to track the mouse as a configuration item because it's not playing any role in the delivery of the means any kind of services, right? Suppose for example, if you have a Windows support, it's not actually impacting actually the business services. You can go and exchange this, right? It's not going to impact too much. Building, right? So building is not a configuration item. Table is not a configuration item. Chair is not a configuration item. Okay, but a but if you have a document, the document can also qualify as a configuration item, right? So all the IT assets may not will be the configuration item, but all the configuration item are your IT assets, right? So to qualify IT assets as a configuration item, right, you need to see whether how means it's going to play a role in the diagnosing the issue, how, right? Only those assets are considered as a configuration items which details are helpful for incident resolution, for change implementation, or for diagnosing the issues. Okay,
So basically, we can say that it's basically business which can decide whether, see, as you said, as you gave an example for a mouse may not add up any major impact to an IT service.
yes,
But
yes.
if you take into account storekeeping or an
Hmm.
inventory management, yes, mouse would be considered as one of the spares which are important, right? Because the
Yes,
company is investing in it. So
yes,
so totally depends upon how the
yes,
company, if the
yes.
company feels that yes,
Hmm.
it is the IT service is impacting,
Hmm.
as you rightly
Yes,
said, it will be considered
yes,
as a asset or a CI, right?
yes. So there is a team called the configuration management. right? So configuration management is going to do a brainstorming session and they will qualify it, right? So in the ITL, if you go with the ITL configuration management, so you will understand that what is the best practice of doing this, good practice of doing this configuration management, right? So what are the criteria which will make a particular asset as a configuration item? You can learn that as well, right? So it's all depends on a business. It all depend upon business to business. Okay.
So Amol, my question here is that like a lot of things, like as Kaushik is saying, like mouse or anything, but the reality of the life is that mouse, how are you going to even track it from one mouse to another? There's no serial numbers, there's nothing, even chairs, tables. So anything which has a unique something that can be tracked, right?
No, even
Like a
even
serial
even
number.
mouse has a serial number. Even mouse has a serial. At least the serial number it has, right? Even the mouse has a serial number. But the thing is that what is the need to track it? If you have to track it, so you have to specify some serial number, some unique number or something like that, right? But
Hmm.
it's not impacting anything. If your mouse is not working, it's not do a lot of impact. You can
So
have the spare mouse and you can start working on that. So we are talking on the desktop support team. We are talking on the desktop services. For desktop services, you see some impact when your mouse is not there, right? So but if you're talking about any other services, yeah.
business service.
Now, if you're talking about some of the application services and all, so mouse is a very little impact on that. So if your internet is slow, no, if your application is not working, right? What is the impact? Means what is the need to what is the
Okay.
need to see the
Okay.
impact on the mouse, right? How what is the
So
need to investigate the mouse, right? If you
correct.
have yes, if you are working on an internet banking application, if your internet banking application something is not working, why you should investigate the mouse issue. You should investigate database, you should investigate server, you should investigate some programmings and all, right? You should investigate some connectivity between the two different servers and all, right? Hmm? Hmm?
So it's a IT services, right? Which we are responsible for. Anything which goes wrong or any issues or
Yes, yes,
problems. That's where the CMDB will come in the picture. What's in there to track that
yes,
issue. Where it goes
yes,
to, and
yes,
it will
totally.
never be in the life that the issue leads to a mouse wasn't working, and that's why the service is
Correct, correct. So
down.
see, so these are IT services, and these IT services need to be managed, right? So you have a business service, right? So business services which user are using, right? So whether this is telecom business or banking business, right? To support these services, you need this kind of a process to do the business service management, right? You have to do the business service management. To do this business service management, you need HR process, you need financial process, you need sales process, you need timesheet process, you need recruitment process, right? So there are different kind of process that you need which is going to support the business service. So similarly that these IT services need to be managed. So that's where your ITSM will come into picture, right? So IT service management, IT service management. Here you are talking about the business service management to manage the business service. Here you have a IT service management to manage the IT services. That's where you have incident management. That's where you have a change management. That's where you have a problem management, right? Right. So incident management, if any issue happens with some of the servers, some of the applications, some of the network, the incident need to be incident need to be tracked, right? So incident has to be created. So incident means some issue happened, but the issue happened where? That where has to be given there. So it's you need to specify. That is called your configuration item, right? Hmm? So that's why incident management, change management, problem management is integrated with the CMDB. Okay, got it?
Yes,
Yes.
Amol.
Yes.
Yeah. So understand in a sequential manner. So top to down, you have business service. This business service need business process. For this business process, you need application support. For these application support, you need servers. You need network support, backup, and the storage. And to support these services, you need IT service management, right? So IT service management is something is all about procuring the servers, That's where the asset management will come into the picture. Suppose, for example, if you need to create an application, you need servers, you need to buy servers, you need to procure servers, you need to decommission servers. So that asset management is going to take care. Okay. And when you have the server, that servers details has to be configured, and the configuration details has to be, you know, stored somewhere. So that's where your configuration management will come into picture, right? And in the data center, if you have the millions of IT components, that millions of IT component record has to be there in the CMDB. Okay.
So Amol, where is CMDB maintained though then?
CMDB is maintained in the ServiceNow. So service, I told you, right? Means we will discuss this. ServiceNow.
Sure.
Yeah. So you have a application develop means ServiceNow. When we are talking about what is ServiceNow, so we have already learned that the ServiceNow is an application development platform where we have created a custom application. So it will have a custom application. It will have some inbuilt application like incident change and a problem, and it will have some application on demand application like on demand application, right, through the
Okay.
plugins you activate, right? Other things
Yeah.
is that ServiceNow is an ITSM solutions. So when you are talking about the ITSM solutions, so configuration management is one of the solution, right? ITSM is all about the incident management, problem management, change management, asset management, configuration management, right? So that configuration management CMDB is the part of the ITSM, and CMDB will be updated by the ITOM application that is called your discovery. Okay.
So if someone doesn't have a service now, then a CCM or what comes in the place? Because a lot of business
You
might
have
not
a
have.
lot of other, you may use the ServiceNow CMDB, or you may use
Okay.
BMC Active
Yep.
CMDB, or you can use SCCM or any other
Yep.
database,
Okay.
HP CMDB, CMDB, right? So any CMDB you can use, and you can integrate it with the ServiceNow ITSM, incident change problem. But the ServiceNow already have the CMDB, then you can make use of the ServiceNow CMDB itself, because the ServiceNow CMDB and the ServiceNow incident is out of the box integrated. Right. Suppose, for example, you are using the ITSM incident change problem with ServiceNow only, but your CMDB is a PMC Active CMDB. Then you need to integrate. If the SPCM, then you need to integrate. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Amol, you will be explaining about the actual authorized CIS.
Sorry.
CMDB,
Sorry?
in CMDB, you will be explaining about actuals and authorized CIs as well, or that is part of the discovery in that?
See, discovery is all about discovering the configuration items. In here in the CMDB, I'm going to talk about how the CMDB is updated,
Okay.
and how the CMDB is updated. CMDB is actually updated by discovery. CMDB is actually updated by the Excel sheet. CMDB is updated by manually, right?
Cool.
So I can get to the high level knowledge of how the discovery is actually updating your CMDB, how you are going to create a CI manually, and how through the Excel sheet you can create update your CMDB, right? CMDB is all about the tables, right? So how you can update those.
And how will you be qualifying this CIs to be actual CIs or authorized CIs? That would be done in the ServiceNow session.
Let me tell you one thing, means this will be depend upon the process. Suppose, for example, you have to create a CI. So CI can be automatically booked, because most of the CI are automatically getting created, right? See, those configuration items which are scanned. Suppose, for example, in a network, so you have a data center, you have a network. So discovery actually scans your network in a timely manner. Suppose one server has been added. There were the 1000 servers, so 1000 records are there in the CMDB. So tomorrow one server has also been added there. So right, so after tomorrow, day after tomorrow, this ServiceNow discovery is going to scan your network, and it will find one more server, and it's going to add there in the CMDB table. Okay, so this is automatic. Yeah.
So the example that you gave, say there were 1000 servers earlier, and there was one server that were added. How will you define them as actuals and authorized CIs?
Because that server came through the change management only. You cannot add a server, you cannot create a server without a change management process, right? Got it? So
Okay.
how you can add the server to the network? Suppose, for example, you need a server. So server adding means change management is all about addition, removal, or updation, right? Modification. So decommissioning, commissioning, procurement, everything is all about the change management. Not procurement. Having the change means someone has requested for that, I need a new server. Someone has created that change, and the change has gone through the proper means authorization process, business approval process, implementation approval process, review approval process, right? Completion approval process. So this has gone through, and then after that, that has happened, right?
Okay.
The server has
So,
not came in the network by itself. It has followed the proper workflow, and then the server was added to the network.
okay. So basically, in the ServiceNow session that you would be showing us, you would be actually showing us how a normal CI and an actual CI will become an authorized CI as well.
Definitely, there are the two kind. Yes, because the CI will be added, because there is one thing that the change management. There are two things. The change management has been completed. After the change management
Yeah.
has been completed, means the change management has been completed means it has followed the proper process, and your server has been added to the network, and the discovery has scanned your network and it has added there. Okay.
Okay.
There is other things is like the moment, suppose for example, the server which has been added, it is
Yeah.
non-discoverable. You cannot discover that. Okay, because some or other issue. Okay.
Okay.
So because some or other issues you have not done that. So what you could do, when the change has been completed, when the moment the change has been completed, you can create a workflow that this change has been created. The moment the change will get completed, after that the CI will get created, right?
Okay.
Your workflow could take care of that.
Okay.
Change get completed, and after that your CI will get created.
Yeah. So that would be covered in that ServiceNow session, right?
So this is the use case. You would like me to do that, then we can do that.
Sure. Great.
Okay. Because in that case, if you're adding a CI, then what you could do, that you can create a service catalog item, add a server. Okay. Add a
Yeah.
server, service catalog item. You can add a server, kind of a service catalog item. In that workflow, you just associate a workflow to that particular service catalog item. Is that this service request will be approved, right? And after this change will be there, the moment the change will get completed, the third aspect will be to create a CI. So there will be a single workflow. Okay.
Yeah.
Or it will be a record producer. Okay.
Okay.
So okay, so those kind of things that instead of doing the record producer, what you could do, we can do this use case, right? You can create a service catalog item, attach a workflow. That workflow is going to create a change, and that
Change.
workflow is going to create a CI also.
Ultimately, that change, after that change process is completed, that server would be part of that CMDB. Yep.
Yes, yes, and we will be actually those configuration details will be will be captured through the service catalog item. You have a question and answer, right? So
Yep.
whenever you
True.
have the service catalog item, so you will get the values, what is the serial number, what is the memory size, and everything. All those information you already have. So those information you can use, and you can create a CI.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so those
So,
kind of
when
things.
are we having the next batch then? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'll let you know on that. So alternatively, on an alternate day, I can do this session. Okay. Okay.
See,
Because
Amol, preferably if it is there in the morning, it'll be better. I mean, in the evening, I guess. I mean, you're so exhausted from the office, you just need some
in the
time
morning
for.
itself we will be doing, so the same
Yeah.
timing which actually we are doing,
Yeah.
we will do that also. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks. Thanks,
So,
Amol.
so Amol, is it fair to say any business which has this discovery or orchestration, like, from ServiceNow, they'll be hiring a CMDB consultant in-house?
Any business, if they have their internal IT team, there are two things. They could have the internal IT team, they could have the external IT team, and they could have the hybrid IT team, right? So they could have the IT team, internal IT team, and they will have some. They have taken services from the service provider also. This is called your hybrid, right? So now it definitely, if it's an internal IT team, it doesn't matter, right? If there is IT team, then you need a CMDB, right? If a telecom
Correct.
business
But
is there, yeah,
yeah, of
and
course, of course.
yes,
But
and
see,
if
ServiceNow directly is not going to help in fixing the CMDB mess.
no,
There,
not at all, not
there has to be a consultant or some other person. Doesn't matter in-house, doesn't matter through managed service
no.
provider, doesn't matter from.
ServiceNow doesn't implement CMDB, right?
Okay, okay,
ServiceNow doesn't. They have provided a solution, right? Okay.
okay.
If you have Flipkart application, so Flipkart is not buying the stuff from the Flipkart, right?
Hmm,
It's a customer who is buying. They have given the application to you, right?
hmm,
And you are
hmm,
using that application, right?
hmm, hmm,
So
hmm.
the use of Flipkart application is to sell or buy, right? The
Right.
use of CMDB is to configure your CMDB, to implement your CMDB, to use your CMDB, right?
Okay.
Right? The service now has provided just a solution. If you're finding any issues with the solution, that service now is going to fix.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
They are
hmm,
not going to
hmm,
fix how is your data center, how
hmm, 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 hmm,
complicated it is, right? So this
hmm,
is all
hmm.
you need to do, right? You will have
Okay.
your own configuration management. They could have used any other CMDB solution, right?
Perfect. Okay. Sure.
When it is a
Um,
service now,
sure. Also, Amol, just outside of the scope of this course, like, do you do any other courses or what else do you do? What other batches like
I do
you run?
I do ITIL, I do
Okay.
ITSM implementation end to end. I do
Okay.
service portal, I do
So,
HR case management I do discovery, I do service mapping.
okay,
Uh,
right. So,
okay,
so
I do
you
orchestrations. Hmm.
so that's what I meant. So you can provide the training deep down to get certified on those sections because I think
100%.
there's itself a discovery on orchestration, which is very important if you want to be part of ITOM. Like,
Yes, yes. So
okay.
definitely, I'm going to create a new batch for the discovery and the orchestrations.
Can you please
In a
let me know when,
yeah, in a
like,
15 days or a 20 days,
sure.
and
Sure,
okay,
sure.
we will
Because another thing I needed to ask you is that I mean, I was talking to Kushik before. I haven't got deep down knowledge of ITSM, so I think it's better to understand that first before deep going too down.
okay.
Like,
See, you should learn ITIL. Okay,
yeah,
first number one thing. Application development is something else, right?
hmm,
But ITIL is a process. ITIL is a best practice of doing the good practice of doing the IT service management, right?
yeah,
So you need to learn that first. Means if I'm talking about the IT services, so how these
hmm,
IT services are managed in a best way or in a good way, that's where ITIL that you have, right?
sure.
Okay, right? So ITIL is a set of the book. Suppose, for example, how to live a life. That's where you have a Gita like
Hmm, hmm,
best
hmm,
practices.
hmm,
So similarly, how to manage your life. So that's where you have a Gita. So how to manage your IT service in the best manner way.
hmm, hmm,
So
hmm.
that's where you have ITL. So ITL is talking about all those kind of a process like incident, change, and problem.
Correct.
So those, I think the ITL you should do. ITL foundation at least.
Okay,
Okay.
sure. ITL V4 is out, I think, now.
Yeah, currently it's
Yeah.
ITIL V4 that is working on, but they all from the same ground. V3,
Sure.
Yeah,
V4,
doesn't
they
matter.
have
You
Yep.
do
V4,
ITL. Yes, yes, yes. The
V3.
basic understanding you that you need, right?
The basic understanding is the same. And
Sure.
and see, Amol, if you Raj, if you want to get into service operations,
Yep.
then see there are 2, 3 aspects. Okay, there is application development. Right now, what Amol taught in the service now is more into application development and administration. Okay,
Okay. Yep.
service operation it's a totally different ball game. Okay, service operation will be using your application to manage your business processes.
Right.
Okay, So basically, if you talk about even in this top-down approach, right? What you see on your screen, service operation falls under your business processes, whereas
Right.
whereas application development, ServiceNow, what Amol was teaching, the
Yeah.
administration was under more into IT services. Okay,
Okay. So it's
these are
ITSM. ITSM.
yeah, and there are business and the the thing above business process is the business strategy. That
Oh
all
yeah,
is
senior
covered in ITIL.
management.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in ITIL, if you see, there is something called a
Yes,
service strategy. That is nothing
yes,
but
yes,
those
yes,
top level business people who
yes.
define the strategy to the business, how the business will be growing. And there is something
Correct.
called as service operation, service delivery, and there's a continuous service improvement as well. So
Correct.
So
Okay.
those are the
Sure.
basic frameworks that would actually help you understand the service operation.
So basically, like ServiceNow, if I see their product line, what they have ITSM, which is completely IT service management. Then they have ITOM, and for ITOM, you do need to know a little bit about cloud management and service mapping. Or I think there's orchestration, discovery, event management. Like these are also modules.
Like
Uh,
ServiceNow, there are different tools. Like BMC Remedy is one tool. IBM Control Desk. There is a different tools. They all
sure.
these ISM tool provides all the same service what ServiceNow provides. It's just that how you will utilize that tool to fulfill your business service is what makes one tool different from the other.
Correct. Yeah. So basically, like, as a ServiceNow consultant, if there is one, the guy who is expert in ITSM, there might be chance he's not expert in ITOM, right? Because two different sides.
Yeah. So basically, what I understand, like a consultant, a ServiceNow consultant would be his expectation would be to understand the business process and translate the same business process into ServiceNow. And
But then what
Amol, mark
happened?
me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
Mark me if
So
I'm wrong,
yeah.
because
So
he has.
Kushik, what happened if a consultant know all about service management? But then if the guy doesn't know anything about orchestration, discovery, even he won't be able to implement that in service now.
Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. So the trend is changing now. So previously,
Uh,
5 years back and 6 years back, there were the team that were the part of only the ITSM, right? There
correct.
will be means one particular role that you had, right? So I
Correct.
will be only having the knowledge of development and administration, right? Only for the incident management, change management, problem management. So I will be the part of only ITSM implementation. I will not will be the part of ITOM implementation, like the discovery implementation or the
Correct.
orchestration implementation. If you're going to BMC software, so BMC software is a company which has a different product, right? So you have a incident management, change management, problem management. These all are on this platform called the AR system. That is called your BMC Remedy, right? Hmm? So BMC Remedy is a platform for incident change and problem. This is not a platform for discovery, orchestration, and event monitoring, right? Hmm?
Hmm.
So they have a different product called BMC Atrium, BMC ADDM, right? So BMC ADDM is only for the discovery, right? So the resource are different now. So this resource is expert in BMC. Another resource is expert in ADDM. Another there is another product called the TrueSight, which is for event monitoring, right? There is another product for Control M, right? That is for the workload automation. Or there is
Hmm.
another product for Atrium Orchestrator, that is for the
Hmm.
orchestration, right? So there are 6 or 7 products. So 6 or 7 products, and they have their individual resources for that, right? Hmm? Those who will have the knowledge, or those who are expert in the ITSM product, BMC Remedy, they will not will be the expert in the BMC Atrium Orchestrator. Okay. Hmm? Got it?
Yes.
Now the service now, what the service now has done, the service now has done that, okay, you start with first the platform, you just know the application development. Once you know the application development, you can upgrade your skills with your ITSM. You learn the ITSM implementation. Okay.
I
Hmm?
see. Yep.
Okay. So I'm the resource, I'm good at application development, I know how we can create a custom application. then I will also know how to customize the application. That's where incident management, change management, problem management, ITSM will come into the picture. So I have also become the ITSM expert. So first course of the ServiceNow is your ServiceNow administration, certified admin, certified developer, and certified ITSM implementer. Okay. Okay. Now, since you have a knowledge on the ServiceNow and all the other applications which is built on the single platform, right? In the case of the BMC, Control M was not built on the BMC remedy. In the BMC, your orchestration was not built on the BMC remedy. Their event monitoring was also not in the built in the BMC remedy. But the ServiceNow, what the ServiceNow has done, all the application, whether this is related to orchestration, all the item means operation management related product, you have an ITSM product and you have an IT OM related product, where you do event monitoring, where you do orchestration, where you do workload automation, where you do a lot of other stuffs and all. So all those solutions they have put on the top of the ServiceNow platform. Okay, now it will be easy for you, right? So there is a single platform. Now you can upgrade your skills, right? You have become the implementer for the ITSM. You can become the implementer for the orchestrator. You can become the certified implementer
I
for the
see.
discovery.
Yeah. That's why
Okay,
they have different certification now, Amol.
that's
Everything,
why. Yes,
wherever you want to
yes,
diversify, you can.
yes. Now it's all up to you that whether you are going to stick with the ITSM implementation, or okay, there is also market with the discovery. Okay, you can become a certified implementer for the discovery also. Okay, so it's all up to you how you are going to grow in the service now. Okay, so here as a resource, this is only around the ServiceNow platform, right? So every other application like the discovery and everything item application which is built on the ServiceNow platform. All these other applications are using the same client, means are using the client script, business rules, script include notifications and everything. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yes.
they all are consuming the common components of the ServiceNow platform, right? Have I answered your question?
Yes, Amol. I got it. So
Okay.
it's, I mean, we can diversify wherever we want, how much we want
Yes.
more,
Yes. So sequence will be you learn ITSM. No, you learn ITIL, basic knowledge of
Yes.
the ITIL. You should understand that, right? I'm not talking about other application, right? I'm sticking to ITSM, the ITIL, right? So other application can be built on any other Java platform also, or also on the .NET platform, right? Whether this is HR process or agile process or payroll process or ERP process or internet banking process or library process, you do not need to create in the ITSM. There are a lot of other platform which is on which you have created those kind of application. But in the service now, you can use the service now for the ITSM application and the ITOM application. And the service now is means going beyond that also. So service now also creating the non-ITSM application, like the HR application.
Yeah.
They have also put the
HR
HR application.
application,
They
employee
have also put the
application,
timesheet
they're
management
all.
application. Yes.
And now
So
there's,
service. Hmm, yes.
sorry, Amol,
So
they just declared that there's an accounting module also coming for finance.
yeah. You don't know, anything will come there in the service now, right? So I told you, right? So the service now is the single platform, because the BMC remedy was only for the ITSM. Okay, BMC remedy, BMC other products for the item were other product, right? Different product. Now the service now has brought all those product in a single platform, right? All the IT related product, right? IT operation or ITSM. Now they're also bringing all the 9 non-ITSM products also in the service now. Okay, so that you do not need to use anything for any process. You can use the service now. It's all means you don't need to use any other platform, Java
So
platform.
they've brought all these other platforms as well, and if not, then they can integrate to business services. So ultimately, they just want to give one experience all in one at one place.
Yes,
The strategy behind it, like
yes, yeah. Previously, even they want to do each and everything. Previously, it was very easy for doing the certification. Now it's very difficult, right? You have to
now
go
it's
for a
very hard,
certificate.
Amol. Now it's
Yes,
very hard. Like I was just
yes,
reading, like a lot of people, like it's not, and there's a lot to learn in each single module. Like
Yes, correct, correct. And they have made this business also. Training is also their business. Certification is also their business, right? They
It's
moved there also.
3,500 Australian dollars, which you can
Yes,
imagine, like
correct.
2,400 USD.
Yeah. And they have made it mandatory to go with the certification, right? I have
Yeah, they
managed,
have.
yes. But I have managed vouchers for so many people because of some the source that I have with the service now.
Let me know if
Right.
you do have any. I'll buy it off.
Yeah, you can do the you can purchase the vouchers, right? So
Yeah,
there are a lot
Amol,
of Mhm.
even I want to go for this administration
Yeah,
certification of
yeah,
those
yeah,
who
yeah.
pass that.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
I think, Amol, what they're going to do eventually, they're going to remove this administration part out of that, and they will just call a fundamental training. And then depending on what module you want to go, you go ahead. I can see that's coming in next few years because there's
No,
no concept as such of admin, there's
actually they have
nothing.
divided. Nothing else means development is
Mm,
all about
mm, mm,
yes, correct.
mm, mm. Okay, cool. Thanks, Amol, for today.
Okay, thank you. I think we are done for the day.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let us know. I'll wait for your message. Once it's there, then we'll connect
Yeah,
again. This new link.
yeah, sure.
Also, Amol, if you can share this recording as well as this um,
I'll
paintbrush
do that.
file.
I'll do that.
Thank you.
I'll do that. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Amol.
Thanks.
Thanks, Amol. Thanks.
Bye, Kushak. Bye, Kushak.
So, Amol, you'll be uploading this in the same folder, right?
Yes, definitely I will be doing that. Hmm?
Thanks, Amol.